I just started doing, and I kind of felt at some point, you know, maybe I should probably, if this fails epically, we should probably get it on camera. So, welcome back and happy Saturday. Today we are going to get back on Betsy Ross Jeep project. Last night was Friday night, obviously. Finally got rid of the Jeep carcass. I'm going to show you that now. Next to the light, and then adjust you up here to be able to see what we're doing. That ought to do it. This is what you might call bad decisions. You got it, you got it. Keep walking. Don't go that way, come this way. Back the way. No, come on, up. No, I want you to go. That ought to do it. Now we get to take her to scrap tomorrow. I might want to tie it down. That'll do it. Now, I was gonna take you guys to the scrap yard this morning and wave goodbye to it, but it is pouring down rain outside. It is just absolutely disgusting out there. So, didn't take you along because I didn't want to be out in the water and I didn't want to have the camera out there and all that. So, I gotta get this mess cleaned up. I was working on my dad's motorhome and brought all the tools in and threw them on the bench. So I gotta get this cleaned up and then I'm gonna start putting the front end on Betsy Ross. Let's get to it. Okay, well, I have most of the shop cleaned up now. Well, okay, it's not cleaned up, but it's more organized. It can get addicting. I can spend days cleaning this place, and I really need to once this project is over. I'm going to show you what I bought, and then we're going to get right to trying to put the front end on this thing. I think we're going to be ready to take it over to the muffler shop this week and get the new exhaust system put on it. So if you watched my video a couple weeks ago, you'd probably noticed that, you know, I remember I had fans. I had several fans. I had broken but functional shrouds, but I went and bought some new ones anyway. Ta-da! This is a cooling fan. Omix 80A, I think is how that is pronounced. This guy is brand new. Should work just fine. We're gonna put that one in right there, probably. I think is how that goes. Here, I haven't even opened up yet. This one, not broken. So, we're gonna put that guy in. And then, I don't have to worry about them just being brittle and cracking. All the other ones that I got, they're cracked, they're brittle, they're old. I mean, heck, let's face it, let's remind ourselves that this is a 25-year-old Jeep. I'm gonna set you guys up here, put you on time lapse. I'm gonna get as much of this done as I can. I am gonna put the mechanical fan back in. I'm gonna start wrapping this all up. Maybe I'll have some working lights by the end of this one too. So here we go. Okay, well, what we have here is failure to Americate. That's not a word. Radiator came from the Jeep. When we bought the Jeep, the radiator was in it. The fan I just bought, the shroud I just bought. Fan I checked against the other factory fans that I have. It checks out. Shroud matches the factory shroud, checks out. Radiator, I don't have any other radiators to compare. So what's going on right now is this fan does not fit into the slots. So this guy, there's this slot down here, or right down there, where that fan is supposed to sit. When the fan gets there, the side interferes with the side of the radiator. So I either need to cut part of this fan off, or I need to relocate this bracket out so that it can fit. Bottom line is the radiator is probably the culprit here. It's the typical ones that come with these have like a plastic tank on the side of them. I think it's supposed to be better than stock, but I don't know. It was included in the purchase of the Jeep originally, and this is the first indication of it not being perfect. I think I'm just going to cut a slot in that bracket on the bottom and just make it work, and then zip tie it in rather than modifying my fan or the shroud, because chances are the radiator goes bad before either the fan or the shroud. I'm gonna figure this out, put you guys back on time lapse, and keep going. So here we go. Okay, well, she's doing that. I am still battling with the front end here. I found that the lights weren't working, so I was trying to test out to see if the headlights, the turn signals, all that stuff would work. But what wasn't working was the turn signals. They would get the really fast flash, which usually means there's a bulb out. And we were getting really weak signal on these bulbs right here. And I'll show you. Well, I used two other harnesses to try to figure this out. This Jeep came with the factory fog lights, so this little guy down here is what connects in for the factory fog lights, and it's a pretty desirable option in my opinion, because it automatically goes on and off with your high beams, and you can put, you know, regular fog lights down there. But those two don't have it, so the other two don't have the factory fog, so I'm really trying to get this harness to work. But I got it working with one of the other harnesses. Everything works except for the fog lights, obviously. So then I come back to this harness, and it turns out that it looks like we have a couple of bad sockets. So I think I can change the sockets out, but I got them kind of working right now as long as you don't touch them. And I'll show you what that looks like here. So we turn on the key, and we turn the turn signal on. And you see you have that nice steady blink. And so this guy here, you just move it just a little bit, yeah, and then it does that, and that tells us that that bulb is out. We kind of squeeze this guy, and there, it's good. So I think what the problem is, I think it's in this connection right here in the socket. I don't think it's in the harness. Oh, maybe it is in the harness. Either way, it's obviously not something that I'm going to leave like that, so I may have to pull the header panel back off and change that harness, or at least find where it's broken. The other side was doing the same thing, but that's what we're battling with. Sometimes I forget that it's a 20-some-year-old Jeep. Well, so I have at least 3 bad sockets and 1 spot where the harness latch is broken. So this guy right here, this latch is broken on the side, so I can't get that one to cinch in right. So I think I'm gonna kind of try to cobble it together to get it working, but I may have to come back through and re-harness this front right there in that section where the turn signals are, if this gives us too many problems, because you don't want your turn signals not working. And all 3 of the harnesses that I have are pretty old and brittle. The little connectors, you can see these things right here are just kind of snapping off. You can see what color they used to be and then what they have become over time. That might be all we get to tonight, I don't know, but looking pretty good, I think. Fans are in, fan shrouds, batteries back in, Mara's here, so making progress. Yeah, we have to remember that when we got this project, there are certain parts of it that we did not take apart. This is one of them. This header panel was gone when we bought it. It was all torn apart. It was in the back, I think. I'm not sure why they took the headlight bezels out, but they did. And I have the headlight bezels, but I don't have the adjuster screws. And one of the adjuster screws nut things is missing. I don't know if you can see that very well. This guy right here is where the adjuster screw goes in. This guy's missing. You see the same thing on this side. We have this guy here and there. Actually, that one looks like it's cracked. It would still function. But I was able to find the springs. I have some of the springs, which we need. And I have the bezels. But the adjuster screws, nowhere to be found. So, do I rob from Peter to pay Paul? Do I look up online what they are? This one right here is off the donor. That has a bezel in it still. That one still has everything in it. But that is worth money. And I kind of want that money if I can sell it. I don't know. We're probably gonna steal it. Anyway, that's where I got to tonight. I just got the notice that dinner's ready, and I'm gonna go try to do that. You know, food, eat and stuff. So that's where I got to tonight. We'll come back and get back to this tomorrow. See you guys then. It is a much nicer day outside today. Welcome back to the shop. It's Sunday. We left off last night. I was fighting with some harness issues in the front. We got the lenses in. Those are all working. I think we're in good shape there. I was trying to find some adjusters for the headlights. I have almost everything I need, but I need these little screws that attach those to there. I can't seem to find those, and I need the adjusters, and so I am probably going to steal them off of that one temporarily, depending on the timing, because I ordered a set from Amazon to come in later, and I will put them in when they get here, or I'll steal off of them depending on which happens first. I also got contacted by a company to put headlights in. Now these headlights came with the Jeep, and then a company sent us another set to put in it and try. So I think I'm going to push that all off to another video. We'll probably get to that later this week, and we'll put it on its own video for fixing the headlight piece harness here and putting those headlights in, and then comparing them to the other ones that the company has sent us to try out. So I think the rest of the headlight stuff I'm going to push off, and I'll show you guys that in another video. The idea was to get it as close as possible to being ready to go to the muffler shop, and that's what we have here. We're close on the lights. Got to get a hood on it, Got to get the latch cable, working windows, seat for the driver. Yeah, gonna need that. Shift handle, vacuum bottle, intake air filter, and lug nuts on the wheels. My goal is to try to get as much of that done today as I can, because with all those things done, we can put it on a trailer, take it to the muffler shop, and get them to put a muffler on it. Then after that, it's a matter of getting it licensed and getting it inspected, and then odds and ends. So we're really close. I need some bumpers and a few other things, but we're making good progress. I'm gonna get to it, and I'll bring you guys in if there's anything interesting. First thing that might be a little bit interesting, if you have watched the series all along, then you may remember at some point I went off a little bit on a rant against U-Haul. This Jeep came with a nice U-Haul, almost new looking hitch on it, with a wiring harness and everything put in place for a trailer hitch. They did not use a good kit to put the wiring harness in. They just spliced in wires. And they did that using vampire taps and wire probes. Probe the wire. Well, where is it? Yeah, there you go, right there. They probed the wire, but they didn't put any protection back on that wire, so you can see it starting to corrode. And then, you know, obviously they will break and come apart. And they did that on both sides. It just drives me nuts when somebody does that, because you can properly splice a wire. That's not the way to do it. That is the hackiest, worst job. That's not right. On top of that, there are kits for it. Like, for example, this one that I have right here, which is a complete setup harness, including a little punch through that will connect to your harness. You know, you can see there's a male and a female, so it just splices in line, allows the pass-through to take place. Absolutely zero cutting, zero tampering with the initial harness, nothing. It just goes right in. And that is, it's not expensive. They're not expensive, and you can find them online everywhere. So it really bothers me that a company like U-Haul would do that. So that being said, this is what I'm doing. I went and got the wires off the donor. I'm going to replace this whole harness, including that grommet, into the inside to here. I'm going to replace this harness, including that grommet, into the inside in here. I will install trailer hitch wiring, because it's done right then. Even this old of a Jeep, you can still find them and do that. The other thing is, these are getting kind of hard to find. They're almost all broken, like that. I mean, you can get them on eBay and a few other places. I'll probably end up buying some repop ones. These will get us by. The little clip on the bottom there is not going to make a difference. It'll hold on pretty well until it doesn't, and then we'll replace it. Anyway, figured I'd just bring you and show you that. Just like that, we have taillights in. Harnesses have been replaced back into their original positions. Added some grease to the terminals so that they don't get corroded. And then hopefully that is all we have to do there. I did remember one more thing we have to do. We get that heat shroud back on next to the gas tank before we take it over. And I'm also wondering if maybe I should probably put the trailer hitch back on so that they don't interfere with where the trailer hitch has to go. So yeah, here we go. Keep going. Okay, I've got the hitch in here. Like I said, it's a pretty nice hitch. It's good shape. I gave the heat shield the old scratch and sniff treatment. Got that setting by the heater. So hopefully then that will dry to the point where I can mount it in there. I'll get those in and we'll get that taken care of. So that'll knock off the lights in the back, the hitch, the heat shield. I gotta get some lug nuts. Here we go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Alright, I think I found enough lug nuts to get at least enough on here that I feel like I'm safe enough putting it on a trailer. I think I'm going to buy all new lug nuts, but I've got to decide what wheels we're doing yet. We haven't decided wheels, so just need enough lug nuts to make sure the wheels are safe enough to drive in and out of a shop. Right now they're missing some, you know, reasons. Anyway, Checking another one off the list. Mara came out and she's been working on the seats again, and we got a hood on, which we also got the hood latch. Yeah, baby. Alright, so that's that. It still needs some work. We're not sure which hood we're going to end up using, but I need to put a hood on it so that if it's sitting in the rain at the muffler shop, that it's not getting our engine filled with water that we don't want it to be. So, but it seems to be functioning. We got latch. There we go. And then done. Nice. So that means that we can grab this guy and we can do hood. We can do hood latch. That's cool. So let's see what else we got next. Working windows, seat for the driver, shift handle. Yeah, we still got some stuff to do, right, Mara? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to it. Alexa, pause. Well, got that done. 2 more things checked off the list. I got the intake air filter thing cleaned. So this is all set up and nice and clean here. So we can start putting that in. I also mounted that. I gotta check that one off the list here. Alright, vacuum bottle. I think that's spelled wrong. Anyway. Shift handle, seat for the driver, lights, intake air filter. We're getting close. Okay, working windows. We're gonna check that one off. The reason we're gonna check that one off is because we have a working window. The one that's important works. So light her up. It's not healthy. The other one's not so much. Passengers, it makes a weird barking noise. The driver's rear doesn't work. Passenger's rear seems to go down. It's good enough for now. It's good enough for what we want, so we can put that window down. If they put it up on the hoist and they want to be able to reach in the car, they can do that with that window being down, because when they're working on the exhaust, they might want to be able to start it up and listen for things while it's on the hoist. I know that if that window doesn't go down, they're going to have issues. So wanted that to make sure that I could do that. So window's good. Now all we need is a seat and a shift handle. And the seats are drying. Here we go. I couldn't help myself. These are not the final seats that are going to go in there. We're going to probably try to find some better seats, but I couldn't help myself, and I had to wire brush the mounts, the brackets. So the seat brackets have paint on them and they got to dry, so I'm not getting them in tonight, but they're ready to go in. So I can call tomorrow confidently saying I'll be able to put a seat right in here as long as nothing goes wrong. So the only other thing I want to do tonight before I wrap it all up and go in and say we're successful and ready to call them in is I want to fire it up one more time, make sure that the fans and everything here are good to go, see how she does. So here we go. I am going to call it a night. It's Sunday night, and go inside and relax, and well, it's almost time for bed. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping out. Thanks for watching this madness. If anything interesting happens at the muffler shop, I will try to record it and send it to you, but we'll see what happens. I don't know when that's going to be. I've got to call tomorrow and try to figure out when they can get me in. Sometimes these things are, you know, this week. Sometimes it's like 2-week waiting list. I don't know what it's like. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm ready to take it over. The next video for you guys will be as soon as I possibly can. I'm gonna get those headlights in there. I'm gonna show you guys what that company sent us. Hopefully that'll be next week. So, but that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.